Gemini, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Gemini in July 2021. What is going on, Gemini? How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Gemini, welcome to July. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're safe, happy, healthy, and secure. Take good care of yourselves and those that you know and love, okay? No announcements here in July. Happy 4th if you celebrate it here in the States or abroad or anywhere else in the world. That's what abroad means, Jay. Anyway, or if you were celebrating any other holiday that I, as an unaware American, am indeed unaware of. But if you're out and about enjoying the summer weather, getting together with people, please do so safely. But at the same time, have an amazing time. I support. I absolutely support. All right, guys, that is the start of your reading. We're going to get into it in just a second, but just to give you an overview, we will be clarifying with this deck and talking about the overall energy that will come from the bottom of the deck. But to start, you guys have the Emperor, King of Swords, and Nine of Cups. All right, so Emperor energy, Aries could be dealing with. You don't have to be. King of Swords, that's your energy. Your energy, air sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could be dealing. Don't have to be. Well, stylistically, because of this deck, the Zombie Tarot deck, I'm getting a sense of like, not what you thought it would be. A situation, a person, an outcome, you know, what have you. There's something where you did not expect it to be what it will end up being or is at this moment. Some of you, this has transpired already. The outcome portion, or you're seeing what you never thought you would see, like you're living that moment now. Or others of you, it's coming up. Okay. I get the sense for some of you, you feel you were trapped. Nine of Cups, you were trapped. Someone told you something was going to be, and false promises. That's another way we could say it. Trapped, false promises, right? Because in this deck, it's the zombie apocalypse, right? And here we have this woman sheltered, wrapped up in a blanket. She's got provisions. She's got all the ammo and a shotgun, but she's dreaming of a desert island. A deserted island, excuse me, a desert island. Well, same difference, a deserted island, whatever. So there's like this fantasy feeling here, Nine of Cups. And Nine of Cups is about, you know, wish fulfillment and like, you know, having an ideal in your mind. But often when we see it in other decks, especially traditional depictions, it's sort of like it's there, you know, you possess those 9 cups. In this deck, she doesn't really possess that. She's maybe giving herself a good run at getting it by barricading herself and holding on to that weapon, but it's not a part of her reality yet. Now, for some of you, that's a glimmer of hope. I gotta be honest, Gemini. I feel for some of you, that glimmer of hope is a glimmer. It is not anything that you or someone else should bank on. It's not high probability, let's say it that way, because Knight of Swords, Emperor, I feel somewhere in here is a viable contestant. A very interesting phrase, viable contestant. Someone who can make that dream, can knock it right out, can destroy it. You want to be on this person's good side. That's not me telling you, that's how you feel. Or that's what you thought you were. I thought I had this person's trust. I thought I had their love and affection. I thought that we were friends. I thought that we had each other's backs, blah, 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 blah. It's going to turn out that somebody here does for them and only them, and never really cared as much about you as they said they did. False promises, trapped, right? So, I mean, oh, Jesus. Like, legit, some of you have been lied to. King of Swords, master communicator. Or this is you. Here we go. They're like, or this is Gemini. And if you're a cross watcher or you're a gem dealing with a gem, this is what you've encountered. You have someone who masterfully persuaded you, convinced you that things would be okay, that their love or their affection for you was unquestionable, unshakable, that the trust you built as business partners was always going to be there, that you could trust them with the money. Something real like devastatingly shady, devastatingly abhorrent or offensive has transpired or will transpire. It feels very, if it hasn't, it will. And your best bet is to barricade yourself from this person. So I'm sensing like restraining orders, gag orders, NDAs, things like that. I'm sensing that this person, push come to shove, is going to shove real hard, is not going to allow themselves to be backed into a corner, to be entrapped the way that they trap other people. You get me? So this is a person who is a manipulator. This is a person who is very much an orchestrator, a puppet master, Emperor energy, very much a control freak, very much somebody who will allow you, it's like they allow you to dream. They allow you to think that you will have what you want, when really they're the only one who will be satisfied. So it's like that. It's like, okay, there it is, a narcissist. And I'm not in any capacity to diagnose or use that word with true authority. Please research it. Please talk to a professional who understands that personality disorder or that personality type better than I do. But that's what I'm sensing here, is a narcissist. Somebody who they allow you to play your role as it suits their whole production. You think you're the lead, or you think you're, the big star of the show. No, baby, I'm the star of the show. Or not even the star of the show. I control the show. I'm the producer. Without me, there is no show. It's like that. They have a grand sense of self. They have a grand sense of importance. Emperor plus King of Swords. They know in their heart, in their mind, this is how this person is. They know they're the shit. They know they are powerful. They know they are smart. They know all these things about themselves. It's confidence. They sell it as confidence, but on the inside, internally, it's a problem. It's a problem. And so they allow you to believe that you can control them. They allow you to believe that they are changeable. This is not changeable energy. Emperor and the King of Swords? Oh no. This is not somebody who changes because other people want them to. This is a person who changes to suit their mood, to suit their needs, to suit their overall outcome. If what you want doesn't align with what they want, they're just going to entertain you and say, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Inside, that's a stupid fucking idea, and I would never in a million years enact it or act upon it or take it on board. You give advice and they're like, oh wow, thank you. I never thought of it that way. Wow. Thank you so much, Gemini. Thank you for telling me this. I thank you for bringing it to my attention. We'll get on top of that. They're not going to get on top of shit. This energy is rigid. And it's protective of self. Interesting. This is a little bit of a deep cut for some. And again, if it's, seek out a professional if you need to, or if it's the other person, they would need to. But you see how the Emperor is standing in front of that young boy, that child, right? There's this idea in this image that, oh, that's a father protecting his son. Let me tell you. Spiritually speaking, psychologically speaking, a combination of the two, metaphysically speaking, all the things. That's the person protecting their inner child, themselves. They put on, to a certain degree, this is a put on energy, or this, if it's not a put on energy, let me rephrase. If it's not a put on energy, it's an energy that's been cultivated since childhood. Because from a young age, this, presumably, most of the time, children cannot protect themselves, right? So something happened in this person's life that caused them to have this reaction, defensive reaction, to build up this persona that protects their inner child, because at some point they weren't able to defend themselves or make choices, or, they were mistreated, or they were abandoned or whatever it was. Not an excuse, BTW. Not an excuse on this person's behavior. I'm just giving you the rhyme and the reason. That's not their child or a child in the situation that they're protecting. Or they might paint it that way if there is a child. They're like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm thinking of the kids. Bullshit. This person protects their inner child first and foremost, even if other children are physically in the situation. You get me? Wow. So for some of you, this is your parent. Your parent is a person who has not dealt, and it makes sense, who has not dealt with their own childhood wounding, and therefore they have now inflicted your life with childhood wounds. Do you get me? And that makes sense, again, because of the era that most of us who are in our 30s or 40s are growing up in. This is the first adult generation that is doing this inner work in droves. You know, I don't know what you know, and again, I don't know all the things, but I know a little bit. And it's just like, it wasn't always in vogue. It wasn't always acceptable, and it still isn't to a certain degree. When I say acceptable, I mean something that was like, it's not like it's being championed as much, but it's still like odd for people to say, oh, I'm going to see a therapist, or I'm you know, thinking about my childhood and how it has reflected, or it is currently reflecting in my adult years, and the patterns and the compulsions and all these things that I've been conditioned into, how it stems from this, that, and the other. Like, doing that work is fairly new. Did your parents do it? Did their parents do it? Probably not. So this first, you know, generation of people, again, between the ages, I'd say, of 20 and 40 something, are the first, like, you know, massive amount of people that are going to do this work. Now, again, some of you, this is your parent, and there's something in that. There's some pattern in there for you to recognize. I don't know what the pattern is. I don't know, you know, how severe it is or whatever, but like, you know, they might have said that to you. All the things I did for you when you were a child, I did them for your benefit, blah, 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 blah. And if you think about it, it's like, no, they're saying that because they did it for themselves. They did it for their inner child, not their actual physical children. Okay? All right, so let's get further information here on this for Gemini. Interesting. Star card. Am I taking that as part of this? Yeah, they want me to take that. Yeah. Ooh. I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Spirit. Okay. All right, so give me 2 more cards, and then we'll talk about all 3, of course. And the bottom of the deck as well. What else is going on here for Gemini? Show me. Interesting. Oh, bottom of the deck, overall energy, repeating energy. And I think we're going to do... yeah, like that. Okay. Okay. It's, a lot of these energies are blending together. Like, obvious, well, not obvious to you, but I've done Aries and Taurus before you, and I see a little bit of an overlap here. But anyway, so we keep the star because the star, Aquarian energy, or major arcana for Aquarius, could be dealing, don't have to be, is a card about healing. It's a card about reflection. It's a card about I want to say transfiguration, but I don't think I'm using that correctly. But it's sort of like this, I'm getting this idea of like smelting or like melting down. So like through a very arduous process or deeply, a potentially hurtful, harmful, difficult situation, aka fire. You know, fire is not something that humans willy-nilly go engaging in and like, oh, let me put my hand in it. No, it's something that you're cautious of, that you're adverse to. You don't actually want to engage. Most of us don't want to be around too much fire if we can avoid it, right? But the star energy is giving me this idea of lean into the fire. This is not advice, of course, to go, you know, throw yourself in a volcano or something. But there's this idea of, if it hurts, find out more about that hurt. If you're made to cry, why are you crying? If you're made to get angry, why are you angry? Explore those feelings, those reactions, those emotions. as intently as you can of a high, and have a higher mind behind it, or a higher purpose behind it. That could come in the form of, prayer, meditation, what have you, that says, this situation from that I'm dealing with my parents, or the situation I'm dealing with my partner, my spouse, in my work, with myself, whatever, why is it so painful? Please reveal more of it to me and heal me through the revelation. Heal me through the revelation. Yeah? So that's why I think the star is here. And again, it comes under the emperor, this archetype for father with the emperor. It does not have to be your father. I'm feeling this is, in many of your cases, this is a woman. In many of your cases, the emperor is a woman, but has a dysfunctional masculine component to her. Because all people carry both masculine and feminine polarities within us, and both or one can be, quote unquote, damaged or dysfunctional. And so I'm sensing you have a dysfunctional masculine period of their physical gender. So this person also, because of the artwork, could have been in the service. And again, not an excuse, but a certain reasoning behind that. For some of you, this person struggles with or without being in the service, with PTSD. There's somebody who has lived through something, and either other people have deemed them a hero, or they deem themselves a hero, with the medal being on the card there. So there's like this wearing it with a badge of honor. It's like any person of a, and this is not, again, I don't want to stereotype too hard, because young people can say this too, but like people of a certain age might say, well, we lived through it and we didn't have XYZ, so these younger generation, these group of younger people, why do they need this? Our generation, my people, my brothers and sisters and I, blah, 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 we lived through it and we're fine. Are you? Are you fine? Are you really? So you could have someone who says, like, just taking this as a real world example, you could have someone, your parents or your grandparents or whoever, or older brother, older sister, uncle, whoever in your family say, my dad, my mom used to wallop on us, used to wail on us, used to beat us black and blue, but we're fine. Are you really? The idea of living is enough. And often they probably would use, some of them will say the word survive. We survived. Is it good to survive? When you think about what survival is, what the word means, there's nobility in it, yes, but it's not without some type of after effect or trauma. I survived a harrowing, abusive relationship with my husband or my wife or whatever, or my father or my mother, whatever. So basically, I went through some tough shit, and I lived through it, and the residual effect is the memory of it, the emotional scarring of it, the physical scarring of it, all these things. So it's like, yeah, commendable that you did survive and you didn't lose your life, or you didn't lose something so terrible, or you're doing without whatever you lost, right? But the fact that you are missing something in the present and future moment, that's the trauma. And that's what people don't address, right? Again, not a professional. This is just like what I'm sensing here. Four Pentacles, Six of Cups. Home a little bit here with the 4. And 2 bubbles. Let's take a look at that. Ooh, and look at that. Look at that. Look at the images here. Good pick, Spirit, because, they pick my decks for me most of the time. Like 90% of the time they pick the decks. So look at the 9 of Cups, which we talked about earlier, hunkered down, blissfully dreaming of a different life, what could be, or what's going to happen after this apocalypse clears and I can leave my bunker, right? Just like dreamy energy, yeah? 4 of Hazards. Ignoring the reality is what I'm getting. Ignoring the reality, 4 of Hazards, aka 4 of Pentacles, by the way. So for some, this could be, and look at the ages of the people. The woman, younger, 20s, 30s. The man, older, 50s, 60s, something like that. Both hoarding in a certain extent. Both are bringing close to them what they think they need to survive. The woman, ammunition and a weapon. The man, food, provisions. It's like mirrored behavior is what I'm feeling here. Mirrored behavior. And for the male, for the Four of Hazards person, it doesn't have to be a male, but I'm talking about the male on the card. It's like yes. Oh, okay. Not hearing the needs of others. Because you see in his little thought there's like people outside, hey, help us. And he's, fingers in the ear, not hearing that, ignoring that. And then for the Nine of Cups person, dreaming of nothing, or a world where other people are not factored in. So, if I'm honest, friends, this feels like a family situation, and it could be replicated or reflected, rather, in other areas of your life. You know what? In that, again, I'm not a professional. I wish I had more vocabulary or more themes that I could present to you that kind of connect these two things. But I know they connect. I just don't know how. You may have experienced something very traumatic in your childhood home with people that you grew up with. And that is being reflected in your life as an adult now, in your business life, in your relationships with friends, in your relationships that you begin, the family that you create for yourself, whatever. And what I'm seeing here is a person, again, a wounded or dysfunctional masculine energy, they don't have to be a male, that was just inaccessible to a certain extent and inflexible in most of the extents or to the most extent. Yeah. Just like not hearing, not wanting to listen, not wanting to see, and being very do as I say, not as I do type of energy. That has gotten someone here who's isolated, feels isolated at the very least. If not truly isolated, feels isolated. Nine of Cups energy. And the Six of Cups, I think, is a spiritual intersection between these two characters. So what I'm sensing here is you could be dealing with a soulmate situation that has nothing to do with romantic ties. It's all about familial ties, where your parents and you are soulmates, or you and your brother or your cousins or whoever are soulmates of a type. And the interconnection is that you both have childhood wounding. You both have energies and experiences there that need your attention, that need to be reflected upon, that need some type of intervention with the star energy and healing. But if you and or the other person don't want to do that work, you both continue to feed into like this reflective, nostalgic place where the innocence of yourselves, the innocence of your own inner child is more important than anybody else's. Not recognizing that most people have something that they, or some way in which they're trying to do the best by themselves, do the best for their inner child, and how sometimes that leads to betraying or being awful or being less than admirable towards others. So there's like this mutual protection of yourselves that ends up being loggerheads or some type of friction point with each other on the outside or in the manifested, 3D dimension. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Oh my gosh. All right, so the overall energy, Two of Wands. Oh my God, what is going on? Bro and sis, let me tell you. Two of Wands has come out a lot. High Priestess hasn't come out, but she's been lurking in the background. In your reading, in Taurus's reading, and in the distillery reading for June. Watch whatever you want to watch or don't watch any of it, but people need to explore the High Priestess energy. I would encourage you to do that. Whatever that means to you, if you're ignorant to the High Priestess, you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google some things, watch a couple other readers and what they mentioned about the High Priestess, oh God, whatever. Your overall energy, which is what we're going to talk about, is the Two of Wands. So, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the artwork on the card. So here we have this big, scary zombie, right? And we've got these two people walking on two different paths, running away from. Yes? So I feel, this could be a decision point in your life, Gemini, or in the situation that you and another person are involved in. Again, a family relationship, a spouse. It could be business, but I think that's a little less likely for most of you. But whatever. And you both mutually decide to part ways, is what this feels like. It feels like a mutual parting of ways. At the very least, because you realize when you come together, it's at an impasse. It's at that friction point where you're not seeing eye to eye. And I already told you, whoever this is, inflexible. So you can't really come to any type of compromise with a person who's inflexible. So maybe it's just a solo decision, but I feel it's like a for the best, for the better, for everybody, for everybody's best interest. It's good that we go our separate ways. Could be a decision for some of you that is made for you. I'm getting that late edition. This could be like a court order. This could be a restraining order. This could be whatever. Did I say that earlier? I think I did. I think I said restraining order like early in the reading. I can't remember. Anyway, Gemini, that is your reading for July. If you like this reading, if it resonated with you, leave a comment, like the video. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so before. Gemini, I'll be back soon to do the mid-July readings. If you want to get at me for a personal reading before now and then, just look down in the description box. And if you have any questions before you place an order, just email me at the same address and I'll answer you as soon as I can, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.